let's move on to the 5 takeaways. We're going to take a look at 5 key points that we think is the takeaways from the 1-0 win against Luton yesterday. And the first one we're going to look at is leader Romero.
Yeah, and I thought he really led by example yesterday, and really, again, more evidence of him coming into this leadership role and taking that responsibility in the back line. And I think the stats speak for itself as to how well he played. 3 tackles, 3 interceptions, 6 of his 7 ground duels won, 5 of his 7 aerial duels won, and the most telling stat for me, 12 clearances on the day, which is 3 times more than any other defender, which really went to show that when we were backs against the wall, we were under the cosh, he was the one stepping up and making sure that we weren't conceding any stupid chances and getting those clearances from in the box, from crosses as well, stepping up for the team when we needed it. And on the ball as well, he had that really great long pass to Madison, which created a chance for Son, which maybe we could have made something of. And I thought it was another really strong display from Cuti Romero on the day.
Yeah, and I remember having conversations with you and maybe other people when we were talking about who's the next Spurs captain going to be. And Cuti Romero came up a lot in these kind of conversations. And I think everyone was just in agreement saying, nah, we can't have Cuti as captain. He's too rash. He's too much of a hothead. Not really captain material as of yet. But Ange came in, he's made him vice captain, part of the leadership team, and we couldn't have hoped for better kind of response from Cuti Romero, because he's really taken on that role, he's taken on the responsibility, and you're seeing it from him on the pitch as well. You're not really seeing those kind of rash moments from Romero anymore. You're just seeing him kind of measured, but still like towing the line perfectly between being measured and also being very aggressive on the football pitch as well. So I think Cuti Romero is growing into one of the best defenders in the Premier League. And you saw that on the pitch yesterday, because it was an absolutely stunning display. So big up to Cuti Romero. How wrong were we all in terms of talking about him as captain? So let's move on to number 2, and that is Madison, the locksmith.
Yeah, and James Madison yesterday, I thought he was the one, if there was going to be a bit of magic, he was the one who was going to provide it for us. And he did that on the day. He had 4 key passes, 2 big chances created as well. But off the ball, 7 of his 11 ground duels he won, which again, more evidence of him doing the dirty work off the ball, which maybe before he came, you didn't really associate Madison with, but he did that. 2 tackles as well. And he assisted the winner with a beautiful piece of skill on the touchline to set up Mickey van der Ven. And that assist means he's got 5 assists in his first 8 Premier League games, which actually makes him the lead assister in the Premier League at the moment. And I also believe he tops the league for chances created as well. Yeah. So what a season Madison has had. What a start to his Spurs career. And I thought, again, another strong performance from him yesterday.
Yeah, and the most amazing thing about it all, I don't even think it was anywhere near his best display in the Spurs shirt in the first 8 games. He actually probably had... When I say this, I don't mean it like realistically. He had like a quiet game compared to what he has done in the first 7 games of the season. But that's not saying that he had a bad game. That's just showing how good he has been in the first 7 games of the season. And the amount of times we won the ball high up the pitch in the first half, I mean, I think he won a lot of them. And he is just such a great player. And I kind of like thought he would be like this off the ball before he came to us, because I saw his off the ball stats for Leicester last season. But I think he's taken it to a new level at Spurs. So I couldn't be happier with James Madison. And I do kind of worry, though, like where the creativity in the team comes from if Madison's not there.
100%. And that's something, look, hopefully we don't have to know. Hopefully he stays fit the whole season. But that is something I'm sure at some point in the season we're going to have to work out.
Yeah. Let's move on to number 3. And that was a wasteful first half.
Yeah, and we really should have been out of sight in that first half. And if it wasn't, obviously, Basuma gets sent off right at the end of the first half, and also all of a sudden, second half, it's become an uphill battle to come win the game, especially as we're not leading. But that first half, we were so creative. How we didn't take the lead in that first half, only God only knows. We created 1.67 XG in the first half, created 3 big chances as well, which all 3 were missed. And we had 12 shots, 3 on target. And thanks to that red card, we were nearly made to pay for those missed chances as well. Luckily, we got the winner at the end of the day. We took 3 points, but that first half we were very, very wasteful, and we were nearly made to pay for it.
Yeah, and Spurs of yesteryear, maybe last season, the season before, you have those chances early on in the game, you don't take them, you get a man sent off, would have easily just laid down and probably not gone and won the game. But that's a testament to Big Ange and the way he's kind of built that philosophy and mentality within the group, within the camp. And we kept going, we got that goal, and he made the changes in the game to win the game as well. So luckily it wasn't a detrimental effect that we didn't put away those chances, but against a better team, we probably would have rue those missed chances and probably wouldn't have won the game with the chances that Luton wasted in that second half. So I would say that we need to be more clinical in those kind of situations. But luckily, we got lucky yesterday that didn't hurt us.
100%.
Let's move on to number 4, and that is Big Mickey, match winner.
Yeah, and he really stepped up again for the team yesterday. He's had an unbelievable start to his Spurs career, considering he's only 22 years of age, and he plays like he's a veteran of the Premier League. How he's stepped into the team and stepped into the league just faultlessly. Another really strong showing from him yesterday, especially given the fact that we were down to 10 men for a lot of it, and we needed someone to step up and put the ball in the back of the net. The forward players weren't doing it, especially in the first half, but Mickey van de Ven did do that in the second half. But his stats were very strong yesterday. 3 out of 3 ground duels won, 1 out of 1 aerial duel, 94% pass accuracy as well, especially given the fact we were down to 10 men for a lot. To still have that accurate pass accuracy is really, really important. And obviously he did score the winner in the 52nd minute and defended so well in that second half to get us the win. So another brilliant performance from Mickey van de Ven, and he's just playing like a guy beyond his years. Yeah,
technical ability is so good for a centre-back as well, Mickey van de Ven. And I love kind of the relationship that him and Romero have, because they're both such good defenders, but maybe what Romero's not so good at, Van de Ven is great at, and vice versa. I think they both complement each other so well. And that was kind of what we were saying before we signed Van de Ven, that, you know, we feel like these kind of defenders will complement each other so well, but we didn't think they would strike up this kind of partnership so early on in their Spurs career. I mean, they stroke up that partnership from day one. I mean, there's been no bending in period whatsoever. No kind of thinking, oh, Mickey van de Ven's a bit out of his depth here, first year in the Premier League, first few games in the Premier League. He has just taken to it like he's been here for so many years, and he really is the Vertonghen replacement. We kind of maybe said it a bit in jest when we signed him, but he literally is our Jan Vertonghen replacement, if not even like... I'm saying Van de Ven looks better in his early Spurs career than Vertonghen did.
Yeah, and considering as well, he signed like a few days before the Brentford game, didn't he? So he barely even had time on the training pitch.
One training session or 2 training sessions?
Yeah, literally. And there was a lot of question marks whether he'd go straight in, and he did, and he's literally never looked back. And he seems to have a great mentality about him. When you hear him speak as well, he seems so mature, and he just seems a guy beyond his years. So I couldn't be happy with Van de Ven at the moment.
Well, let's move on to the 5th and final takeaway, and that is amazing start continues.
So with that win, that puts us on 20 points after 8 games, which means that's our best ever start to a season since 1960, which is when we won the double in the 60s, that famous Spurs team, which goes to show how impressive this start has been under Ange. Some other stats including this start, out of the last 28 teams who have 20 points after 8 games, 26 of them have made the top 4, and out of the last 28 teams who have 20 points after 8 games, 11 of them have gone on to win the league. So look, not saying we're going to win the league or anything, but such an impressive start from Ange Postecoglou. No one could have imagined 6 wins and 2 draws from our first 8 games, regardless who the opposition is. The Premier League can be unforgiving, and I think we've started the season so well. I find it funny sometimes when rival fans saying, "Oh, you've had an easy start," and all this kind of. I was like, we've had, we've lost Harry Kane. We're starting a new project. We're betting in so many new players and young players as well. And that's never going to be easy. It doesn't matter who you're playing. We've seen other teams have also favourable fixtures but haven't been able to get over the line. In the Premier League, it's never easy to get a win. And the fact that we've got 6 wins out of the first 8 games is remarkable.
The majority of them away from home as well.
Yeah, 5 of them away from home. 5 away games, 3 at home. And they're never easy as well. So a big up to Postecoglou. Obviously, he said after the game, look, we haven't achieved anything yet. It's only 8 games and we just got to keep going. But if you told me before the season that's where we would be, and especially having wins, having Arsenal and Liverpool in that run as well, and not having lost as well, is a remarkable start to the season. So let's hope it continues.
I'm sorry, but these guys that say that we've had an easy start and like trying to put shade on kind of the start that Spurs have had, before the season started, we were thinking that we had a really hard start to the season. Brentford away first game, United at home second game, fifth or sixth game, whatever it is, go away to the Emirates, then Liverpool at home. Like, that's not an easy start. Like, these 4 games are hard games. I know Brentford haven't had a good start to the season, neither have Manchester United. But first of all, we always struggle at Brentford. We always struggle against Manchester United. We haven't beaten Liverpool since what, like 2000 and whatever it was, 17. Arsenal away, we never get a result at. So you're looking at it, yeah, fine. The other games, you probably expect us to win it, but they're not give me games either. Like, those 4 games are probably harder than any of the games that Arsenal have had at the start of the season. Who have they had? They've played us and Manchester United. And they've had a much easier start to the season than us. So I think that people that are saying that, oh, Spurs are only doing well because they've had an easy start to the season. If we've had an easy start, that basically means that Man City is the only hard game of the league.
That's what everyone's saying, I guess. Yeah. It's mad. It's just nonsense.
It's mad.
And to show, look, and to win games when you're meant to win, that like everyone just like sees it as a given. And now no game is ever a given. You have to earn every win that you get in the Premier League. And we've also had different challenges in every single game. We've been behind. We've been down to 10 men. We've had to face 9 men and break down low blocks. And I think we've just passed every challenge really convincingly. We've got last minute winners as well. We've controlled games like the Burnley and the Bournemouth game. Like, every game has been a challenge and we've come through it. So I'm super impressed. And hopefully the more they get used to this system and the more they get used to Ange's methods, the better the performances will get as well. We've only scratched the surface of what this team can do if this is how they're performing after 8 games.
I love it. Yeah, I'll speak to someone and he goes, yeah, but Spurs have had a really easy start to the season. So I said, oh, but what about Arsenal and Liverpool? Like, is that an easy start to the season? And he goes, oh yeah, but 9 times out of 10 you would have lost those games anyway. It's like, yeah, but we didn't. We got 4 points out of them. So I mean, these rival fans are watching Spurs and they're just so salty about it all, just because like Spurs are having an unexpected good start to the season. Those people that are saying that said that when we sold Harry Kane, we'd finish mid-table, where we're fighting with the Fulhams and the Palaces now. Look at us now.
Exactly.
Well, that is the 5 takeaways, 5 things that we did learn from the game, the 1-0 win against